From the very first moment I bought my lakeside cabin, I knew peace and quiet wouldn't last forever. It's not because of nature. Nature was perfect. The lake was glassy at dawn, the pines whispered with the breeze, and loons cried across the water, like some haunting lullaby. No, the real problem had two legs, a shrill voice, and an ironclad belief that every square inch of the world fell under her authority. Her name was Patricia Karen Montgomery, self-appointed queen of the lake shore, HOA, and that woman was about to turn what should have been my relaxing weekend retreat into a legal circus that ended with handcuffs, flashing lights, and her screaming in disbelief as she was dragged away. It had been a grueling 3 months at work, the kind that made you feel like your bones were vibrating from exhaustion. My one sanctuary was the cabin I bought 5 years ago, a cozy place with cedar siding, wraparound porch, and private lake access. Now, HOA had jurisdiction over my property, though they ran the rest of the lakeshore development. That fact drove Patricia insane. She had tried every possible way to force me into compliance. Fake notices, letters threatening fines, even showing up at my door insisting I submit landscaping plans for approval. I shut her down each time, but she never gave up, so that weekend I rolled up with my truck loaded with supplies, fishing gear, steaks for the grill, a hammock, and a stack of books. I planned to disconnect completely. No phone, no work, no drama. But the moment I pulled into my driveway, I saw her standing on the gravel with arms crossed, blocking my way like a human toll booth. "Excuse me," she snapped, "but you can't. Just park your vehicle here. This is common access property." I sighed. "Patricia, this is my driveway. It's my land. My deed is older than your HOA. Move, or I'll call the sheriff." She huffed like a teapot. "You'll regret your tone. HOA will not tolerate insubordination." I should have known right then. My weekend was already doomed. 2 hours later, as I grilled steaks on the deck, I saw flashing blue lights reflect off the lake. A patrol car rolled into my driveway. The officer stepped out and said, "Sir, we got a call about unauthorized occupancy and possible trespassing on this property." I laughed so hard I nearly dropped the tongs. "Trespassing? This is my cabin." Patricia appeared from the shadows, feigning concern. "This property falls under HOA control, and he refuses to follow community bylaws. He's a danger to the neighborhood. The cop asked for my deed." I happily handed it over, laminated in a folder, just for situations like this. After 5 minutes of checking, he turned to her and said, "Ma'am, this property is completely private. You have no authority here. If you make another false report, you'll be cited for misuse of emergency services." Her face twisted like she'd bitten into a lemon. "This is harassment. He's the problem." But the officer ignored her and gave me a nod. "Enjoy your weekend, sir." For a moment, I thought it was over. But Patricia wasn't just angry, she was plotting. The next morning, I woke up to find my dock covered in garbage. Plastic bags, half-eaten food, even a busted lawn chair had been dumped there. Someone wanted to ruin my fishing morning. I grabbed my trail cameras and checked the footage. There she was, in her silk nightgown and slippers at 2 a.m., dragging bags of trash from her golf cart onto my dock. I could have called the cops immediately. But part of me wanted to see how far she'd go. By Saturday afternoon, she went further. I was reading on the porch when she marched over with a clipboard. "The HOA has voted. You're being fined $500 for unapproved shoreline use." I set my book down. "Tricia, you don't get it. Your rules don't apply to me." "Oh, they will," she sneered. "One way or another." That evening, I caught her spray painting HOA property across the side of my boathouse. That was the last straw. I called the sheriff, filed a report, and handed over the camera footage. She got slapped with a hefty fine for vandalism and trespassing. I thought maybe, just maybe, that would end things. But Patricia wasn't done. No. She wanted revenge. Sunday morning, I noticed something odd. My kayak, usually tied to the dock, was gone. I searched up and down the shoreline until I found it hidden behind a neighbor's reeds, half slashed open with a knife. I knew who did it. But that wasn't even the worst of it. Later that afternoon, I overheard two neighbors whispering, apparently. Patricia had been bragging that she was setting him up so the police have no choice but to haul him off. Sure enough, an hour later, another patrol car pulled in. "Sir," the deputy said cautiously, "we got a report that you threatened your neighbor with a firearm." I nearly choked. "What? I don't even keep a gun at this cabin." Patricia came storming over, fake tears streaming. He pointed it at me. I feared for my life. This time, I wasn't just denied, I was furious. I calmly invited the officer. Inside, showed him every inch of the cabin, the shed, the truck. No firearms, no threats. But I did have security camera footage showing Patricia standing in my driveway alone, screaming into her phone and pretending to dodge bullets. The deputy's jaw tightened. "Ma'am, you understand filing a false police report is a crime, right?" Her crocodile tears dried instantly. You can't prove anything." But we could. By Monday morning, Patricia's reputation had spread like wildfire. Neighbors, who once tolerated her, now turned against her. The sheriff's department issued her citations for harassment, vandalism, false reporting. But she didn't stop. The following weekend, I came back to the cabin only to find her sneaking around my property at night with bolt cutters, trying to sabotage my electrical box. What she didn't know was that the sheriff had already advised me to install more cameras on this time. They caught her crystal clear. I called it in immediately. When the deputies arrived, they caught her red-handed, crouched beside the utility box with the cutters in her hand. "Patricia Montgomery," one of them said, "you're under arrest for attempted property damage, trespassing, and violation of prior citations." Her scream echoed across the lake as they cuffed her. "This is my neighborhood. My authority. Can't do this to me." But they could. They did. She was loaded into the back of the cruiser, her silk robe dragging in the dirt. In the weeks that followed, peace finally returned to my cabin. The garbage stopped appearing. The vandalism ended. And most importantly, the HOA itself started to crumble. Without their self-proclaimed queen barking orders, residents realized how toxic she had been. Several neighbors even apologized to me, admitting they'd been too afraid to cross her before. They were free. Patricia, on the other hand, faced multiple charges, between fines, probation, and community service. She had plenty of time to reflect on the fact that her quest for control had landed, or exactly where she least expected. The county jail and me. I finally got that peaceful weekend on the lake. Hammock, steak, fishing rod, and silence blessed silence. All because Karen couldn't stand that she didn't own me.